Also ahead, Cotswold District Council declares a cost of living emergency as a local food bank tells us of increased food poverty and malnutrition.
I'm just disgusted that in this day and age, anybody, like NHS workers, there's going to be all sorts of key workers at food banks who have to go for handouts. It's horrible.
Next tonight, Cotswold District Council has declared a cost of living emergency as the economic crisis puts pressure on households.
With food and energy prices rising, more people across the southwest are turning to places like food banks for support. The council leader is calling on the government to provide more help to those in need and the services that support them. Ken Goodwin reports.
Michelle is an NHS worker. We've changed her name and her appearance to protect her identity. She says without the food bank, with the increasing cost of living, she couldn't afford to feed her family.
I'm just disgusted that in this day and age, anybody, like NHS workers, there's going to be all sorts of key workers at food banks who have to go for handouts. It's horrible.
Food banks all over the region have reported a big increase in people needing to use them. In the Cotswolds, the council has voted to declare a cost of living crisis.
So we're going to look at the direct support that we can give as a council. So whether that's in the form of some sort of financial aid to to local groups like the food bank here, but also working with our partners in a bit like Citizens Advice Bureau or the food bank and other groups to really see how we can support our residents.
I think we're seeing an increase, but not just amongst those who traditionally might have used a food bank, those who are struggling to manage on benefits. We're seeing people like NHS workers. We're having social care workers who normally would refer their clients to us to actually need the help of the food bank.
All this takes its toll. In Winchcombe, there are those who, like Michelle, desperately need the help.
The food bank have been fantastic. They have been supporting me for quite a while now. They don't judge me. It's very embarrassing, and yet my pride is completely taken away. I don't have any pride and I feel embarrassed to come to the food bank.
Some people have to make some choices around, well, what is it they can afford to pay for and what is it they can't, and then that's where we come in really, when they decide that they can't afford to be able to feed themselves or indeed their families.
Michelle says that with her NHS job and at home being a mother, she has to be strong. But it's difficult and her mental health suffers.
I've got to be the rock for everyone and no one is the rock for me.
Another bag of provisions for a family in need. It seems it's all they can do here to keep up with demand. Ken Goodwin, ITV News in the Cotswolds.
Well, for more on this, we can cross to our political correspondent, David Wood, who is in Westminster for us this evening. David, remind us what's been put in place to help people who are struggling.
Yeah, Ellie, the government says there is a significant group of measures to help most families right across the country, particularly those who are reliant on benefits to pay their way. But today, a stark warning from an influential group of backbench MPs, led by a Bristol MP, that the price cap on energy bills that's set to go up in October will actually go up even more, putting more pressure on household finances. And he said that won't be the only increase that people are facing.
We also expect energy bills to go up again in January 2023. And so in those circumstances, the support package announced by the former Chancellor Rishi Sunak to help bill payers pay their bills is already out of date. And we think it needs to be updated. There should be more money given to bill payers, but also that money should be targeted better at people who really need it, as opposed to giving it to everybody.
Now, the government has recently started giving around £400 to most people who are on some form of universal credit or other parts of the benefit system, saying that is targeted help to those who need it most. But earlier today, the Cabinet Minister, Chief Secretary to the Treasury, Simon Clarke, was asked whether that help is enough. He said, yes, it is for now, but these things are always kept under review.
We are clear that the £1,200 of support for the 8 million homes in receipt of some form of means-tested benefit is a comprehensive measure designed entirely to offset the typical rise in energy bills as it stands at this point. Obviously, if the situation worsens further, then we will act.
It is expected the situation will get worse, so a hint there that the government, at least under Boris Johnson, will look to go further. Of course, Boris Johnson won't be Prime Minister in October. Liz Truss or Rishi Sunak almost certainly will be, and they, I think, in the next few days will start setting out their specific plans about how to try and help households deal with the rising cost of living, because whoever does get to number 10 at the start of September, top of their list will be ensuring that voters feel that their money is going further and they can keep on top of bills.
OK, David Wood in Westminster, thank you.